All right, where do I begin? Man. Here I am once again doing open hood surgery on my Jeep. So the backstory, I'm driving down the road, minding my own business, and suddenly it's like, I feel like a little misfire in the engine, and I'm thinking, what now? What could possibly be happening now? And I thought maybe it was bad gas, right? Maybe I got some water in the gas. This has happened before when you go to gas stations that have high turnover, and they are constantly, refilling the tanks. There's just a little bit of moisture that gets in there, and then if that gets in your gas tank, you have a problem. I thought it was that. It turned out to be not that. Now I'm getting an error code that is referring to the throttle body position sensor and the throttle pedal position sensor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the throttle body, because I believe that is the source of the problem, and then we will retest and see if that fixed it. If not, then we'll move on to the pedal. But anyway, all right, let's go attack this throttle body. Here we go. The tools we need for this job are pretty simple. For the throttle body itself, we just need a 8mm socket. And for everything else, we just need like a couple other tools. Probably need some throttle body cleaner and some paper towels. Since we have to do a relearn process anyway after we install the new throttle body, the first step is to remove the negative terminal from the battery. And that should just come off, all right? And then we take something just to prevent a little connection from happening. On there. Okay, that should be good. The next step in this process is removing the cold air intake. So we're going to start by just removing the filter itself, air filter, and just set that off to the side. And then we're going to move down and that off. And this over here. Okay. We don't need to fully remove this. We just need to get it out of our way. So I am hoping that I can accomplish that with minimal effort here. So I think we might have to remove this hose just to get ourselves enough room. So let's see. All right, there's that guy. And all we need to do is there is a sensor here. We got to remove. Okay, just put that sensor down there, and now we can let this guy sit off to the side. Let's put it right there. Okay, so now we have clear access to the throttle body. We need to get this little guy off. You have to move this little clip, this safety clip back without breaking it off. And those are always fun. This one came just straight off, which is great. Okay, next, we don't have to, we can remove this later, but we got 4 bolts. 2, 3, 4. Just gonna break them loose with the socket wrench, and then I'll get the long arm ratchet, cordless ratchet. Okay. So as always, these are steel screws, metal screws going into plastic housing. So you got to be really careful when you put this back in, or else you are going to break that housing, and then that is going to give you a very bad day. So there's that. There's one. One screw. I knew I was forgetting something. There's that. Here is the old throttle body. Here is the new throttle body. As you can see, they look like they're the same. Everything looks good. Same number of pins. All right. Actually, let's start with the top one. I always like to spin the bolts to the left till I hear the little snap of the threads aligning. And that way, see that? That way we know we're threading correctly. There we go. We got one more. Just get it in there without dropping it. There we go. When it's metal on plastic, I don't like to use anything that's going to put any torque on it. I just get it thread tight and call it a day. I mean, you can feel it when it's all seated down. You don't need to get a torque wrench and be precise unless it's a moving part. If it's a moving part, I think then yes, you need a torque wrench, but don't take my word for it. I'm obviously an amateur You just gotta really have a sensitive touch, and then you can get to know how these things are supposed to feel when they're completely seated. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now, this guy is supposed to move, but this guy does not move. So I want to try and fix that by just giving him a little encouragement to move back. And I don't know how you do that. So we're just gonna live with it. And maybe it was all the way back. Probably previously broke. That dude's on. So we're gonna put this sensor back. I should have done this part first. So reassembly is just basically going in reverse, tracing your steps back. And if you remember, one of the steps was pulling out the sensor after these guys slid down. So I'm going to slide those up, and we're going to put the sensor back in. Got to make sure the sensor is seated all the way, or else it's going to fall out. There we go. All right, now we can get you back on there, and we can spin that guy a little bit more. Put that up. And we want this guy. Wow, that gets so far off. It's weird. Go, come on. Come on, homie, get in there. There we go. All right. Almost dropped it. Okay. There we go. That guy's in. That guy, see there's a little gap there. You don't want that. And the chances of air getting in are slim, but let's just make it 0. Okay. That's on, it's not going anywhere. Move the parts dish. All right, let's get our air filter back on. It's pretty simple if you have enough room, which I don't, because I've got a bunch of wires and stuff. So you gotta move some of these things out of the way, and then you can have just enough space to get this guy in. There we go. That's what you want. Just turn it so it makes it convenient for us to turn the screw. All right. Almost there. It's tight now. There we go. All right. That's on, that's on, that's on. Okay. Okay. Let's reattach this negative terminal. See if you can see the terminal head right there. It's got some corrosion on it. I need to clean that off. Never noticed that before. All right, that goes down. Let's turn this, give ourselves as much room as possible, because this thing you can barely get a quarter turn at a time. And I kind of hate it, but it's the only way I've found to get the terminal really tight, the cable really tight on the terminal. Okay. And you can see it's still wiggling, which sucks. But, all right, get in there. Okay. That's actually this assembly that's wiggling. It's not the lock. Okay, I'm gonna deal with that in a minute. There's that. Okay, let's go start the Jeep. Okay, now that we've got the throttle body installed and we've got the cold air intake reassembled, now it's time to go through the relearn process, which means I got to connect the battery cable, and then I have to depress the gas pedal you turn the key, press the gas pedal all the way down slowly, and then slowly let up. And then you should be able to start the vehicle, and then you're done. The relearn process for this is pretty simple. You turn the key to the on position. All right, you wait about 10 seconds for all of the lights on the display to go off. And maybe it takes 20 seconds, I don't know. It seems like forever, right? Okay, there we go. And you then slowly depress the acceleration pedal all the way down, and then slowly release it all the way up. Turn the vehicle off. Wait till all the lights go off. And we'll just wait 5 more seconds, right? So 5, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 1, 1,000. Key back in and start it up. All right, check engine light is gone. And I think that's awesome. All right, let's go clean up. All right, guys, just got back from the test drive, and it performed great. The throttle response was so much better. So I mean, my Jeep is a 2013, so this is 12 years down the road. That was the original throttle body. And you know, this was just a OEM drop-in replacement. It should have been straightforward, but it just seems to perform so much better now. So I'm grateful for that. Keep in mind, if you have a stock air intake, the air box style that comes with the Jeeps, they're massive. They're these massive things. that process is going to be a lot more difficult. Okay, so if you get a stock air intake, there's a few more steps. All right, it's not, it's not terrible. It probably adds maybe 5 or 10 more minutes to the whole process. If you've never done it before. If you've done it before, then it actually really only adds like 2 minutes to the process. Nonetheless, this thing's done and it runs great. That's a wrap. I'm stoked, and so on to the next thing, guys. Remember, if you have a comment on this or you saw something that I screwed up on, hit it in the comment section and I'll respond to you as fast as I can. If you like the video, hit the like button. Otherwise, any of those buttons at the bottom of the screen, hit those. All right, they're all good. Anyway, guys, you're the best. Stay awesome. I'm out of here. I'll see you on the next Shift into Sunshine.